Get Out is a masterpiece. Like, it is without a doubt one of the most enduring films I've ever seen recently. Of course, there is a racial component to this movie. They chase after black people, arguing that their bodies would be perfect vehicles for their aged, ailing, and dying white people. But did you also get all the deep hidden messages that were actually screaming right in front of your face? There is so much depth to this movie. Exploration-worthy depth. Let's take an extensive look and see what you might have missed. Get Out is a psychological horror movie that Jordan Peele wrote, directed, and co-produced, and Peele loves to hide a couple Easter eggs in his work. After seeing this movie a few times, you can analyze each subtle, hidden message that shouldn't be disregarded, and it has a lot to do with people's fake faces in this movie. Sometimes it's simple to figure out why someone dislikes you, and other times you have no clue why. The question is, can you trust the people who do like you? Do they accept you with all of your imperfections, or do they have another reason for wanting to be your friend? Well, this film explores issues of race relations in America through the use of terror and a spooky basis. The conflict between the black and white communities is the main topic, and how it can all hide behind a facade of friendliness. It simmers in Chris's case under the cover of real love. Here are some of the hidden messages and Get Out. One of the many factors contributing to this film's immense satisfaction is the fact that Chris genuinely acts wisely the entire time. He is aware, relatable, and reasonable. He does not simply run away in a fit of terror. To avoid disrespecting Rose or acting strangely in front of her parents, he attempts to dismiss the first few things. But when things start going south, he says, "Yeah, I want to go home, babe. Can we go?" The opening song, Sikaliza, which begins playing in the first few minutes of the movie and plays a few times more throughout, is the first indication. Chris is being literally warned in this song to flee away and rescue himself. The song also plays while Chris looks at the mounted deer head in the party scene, where Chris is talking about his experiences as an African American. The voices in the song represent the voices we carry, including those of our community, history, and ancestors. They are a haunting reminder of how important it is to stay connected and awake to the ways of white supremacy and all that is near us. At the start of the movie, when Chris and Rose are driving to Rose's parents' house, Chris calls Rod his best friend. Rod tells Rose that she chose the wrong man after he's placed her on speakerphone by the caller, mockingly suggesting that she should have picked him over Chris as her boyfriend. We learn that Rose's family is abducting black individuals later in the film to place the consciousness and brains of white cult people in the bodies of healthy black individuals. This is to prolong their lifespan. Rose most likely met Rod before meeting Chris, and she chose Chris over Rod because of his physical fitness, superior vision, and photographic talent. She was assigned to attract valuable targets that the family could sell at auction for a profit. Oh, and the slave trade is symbolized by an auction. The Armitage. Rod was fortunate that he did not suit the description because he was slightly overweight and had poor vision due to his glasses. Yes, Rod was merely making fun of them. It is just who he is. Rose runs over a deer on the way to the army. She continues to blithely follow the policeman's instructions and make excuses like, "I was lost." When Chris meets the family later, Rose generally exhibits some of those other sociopathic signs. The reason this is different is that Chris usually turns to smoking to deal with his stress. However, in order to please her parents, he unconsciously chooses another way to express his discomfort as a sit at the back porch. Chris starts knocking on the table, which is a sign that he's very uncomfortable and on a deep psychological level. Here, Missy is also touching the glass with a spoon, essentially delineating her personal space. Even without Chris's consent, the spoon tapping offers a focal point of hypnosis to function. The silver spoon represents white privilege as a result of being born with a silver spoon. To conclude, you likely miss the subtle use of color to depict character struggle and alliance, which is another intriguing aspect. Rose is wearing a lot of blues at the beginning of the movie. Blues conveys expertise and loyalty while conveying a sense of security. But then we see Rose's color scheme changing and it suddenly shifts to red as a way to demonstrate Chris's isolation and danger. Rose changes her outfit when guests begin showing up at the party to place bids on Chris. This is the first time we have seen her wearing a different color. She becomes a threat to Chris when she wears red since she stands for the Republican ideology, while Chris continues to wear blue because it automatically excludes him. You probably missed this earlier. When Rose was driving Chris to the family home, she was in a red vehicle. This could mean that Rose purposely put Chris in harm's way. The message of mind control, or the sunken state as the enemy would have it, is a crucial one to spread. Using hypnosis and neurosurgery, the Armitage family was able to transfer one person's consciousness into another person's body. The buried place stands for Missy's complete authority over Chris. After Chris figures out the truth about the Armitage family, on her laptop, Rose has been observed looking for the next prey. She is consuming milk and Fruit Loops cereal in this moment. We observe Chris attempting to flee in Jeremy's car as he starts the engine, as Rose is eating her Fruit Loops. Run Rabbit Run, a menacing tune, is currently playing on the radio. You may recall the song plays in the kidnapper's car in the opening scene when he kidnaps Andre. This demonstrates that Jeremy was responsible for Andre's abduction. He is showing his victim his dominance by using the song as cover. Although there is more to this music than meets the eye, he appreciates the striking contrast between the eerie chord and the blood and gore. The rabbit is a metaphor for how white people oppressed black people. Even the fatalities in the movie weren't straightforward. Dean Armitage was a dishonest physician and a liar. He didn't like deer and claimed that by killing it, a person was helping humanity. While doing surgery, Chris stabs Dina in the throat with a statue of the deer. By gazing into her patient's eyes, Misty Armitage induces hypnosis. In her workplace, Chris stabs her in the eye to kill her. Jiu-Jitsu is a favorite of Jeremy Armitage's. Jeremy is outwitted by Chris, who uses a cunning method to break his skull. Rose Armitage, a psychopath who excels in manipulation and treachery, is killed by her own victim through betrayal. We are able to see a situation from a distance, but not when it directly affects us. It is really challenging to envision a solution. What are your thoughts on the film? Are there any hidden messages you want to point out? Leave your comments with your ideas. The video on the screen shares another story that will open your eyes and make you see life differently. You should definitely watch it. Click on it now and we'll see you over there.